Drop down, drop down! Windows up! We're in it! We're in it! We're in the tornado! Hold on, guys! Hold on! What is Spikes? Here's popping, that's fine! Let's go! Here's the shoot it! Wide! Go wide! Go wide! Here!
What is up, guys? Lincoln here, and thank you for joining me for another episode of Dread Captures. We are locked and loaded today with all things caught on camera. As always, please like, subscribe, share with a friend. I will see you in the comments. Let's go. In January of 2024, Olivia Twist Mysteries uploaded a chilling piece of footage on TikTok. The exact location remains unknown, but a family was reportedly fishing in a remote forest. As they carried on fishing off the bank, a wave came over them. Not water, but an uneasy feeling of dread. A few members of the family quickly realized that the sensation was one you get when you feel that you're being watched. They tried to brush it off, but the feeling lingered until they finally noticed something. Something broad and massive blending into the trees across the river. At first they thought it was a mist or a fog. There were no discerning features, it seemed insignificant. But then it began to shift, gradually taking on a more human-like form. A dark, shadowy figure subtly began to show itself, before ultimately vanishing. Yet if you look closely, you can still make out its faint outline in the video, suggesting it never truly left. I mean, whatever this thing is, it is definitely using its cloaking capability, camouflaging itself within the trees. As the family records, there's no doubt to them that this is the presence that has been watching them this entire time. Yeah, Miss Sarah here was just filming some pigeons eating her grass in her yard. In the original clip, she didn't love that they were eating her grass, but I know she didn't want this to happen to them.
Quit eating all my grass seed, Quailies. Come on now. Oh my God.
Sticking with the hawk theme, check this footage out. Pretty impressive just to take that thing out of the air like that. Our next clip was uploaded to the internet by an account dedicated to sharing footage of large ships and really just large vehicles in general, but ships are his go-to. In one particular clip, we see a graveyard of old cruise ships that have been run aground and abandoned on a beach somewhere in Turkey. As we admire the vast size of the ship, something unusual happens, and it was noticed by a sharp-eyed viewer. Watch carefully. Did you see that? It was hard to see, but pause it and rewind. On the rusted old cruise ship to the right, someone or something appears to be moving inside, which is odd because this ship is supposedly completely abandoned, no one on board, and no apparent way to access it. The little coastal town that all of these boats end up on hates them being here. They think they're dangerous, they think they're an eyesore, they think they're haunted, and they may have a point. Could that have been the ghost of someone who didn't survive their trip? Pretty wild to see an eel this aggressive. It's one thing to give a little lunge, but this guy was giving chase. Luckily, his buddy was a sniper with the spear and took the eel out. Did you catch that? This audio was uploaded to YouTube by a user named ForestFire21. He recorded it around 2 a.m. in December of 2014. The uploader states that he lives near a forest and noted that the sounds in the recording came from deep within the woods behind his home. At least that's where they sounded like they were. The words of the child's voice are difficult to make out, but after careful listening, several commenters pointed out that a faint adult voice can also be heard shouting, "Where are you?" alongside the young female voice that is primarily making the noise. This quieter, subtler male voice only adds to the unsettling nature of this recording. Toward the end of the video, the uploader mentions checking the news every day after that night, hoping to find some explanation for the screams, but he found nothing. The fact that the screams were captured around 2 a.m. in freezing temperatures and deep in the woods, it really does suggest an absolute emergency. And by the sounds of it, even something pretty disturbing. Like myself, many commenters found it weird that the uploader chose to record, post the audio, wait for it to upload, and then called the police. Yeah, I mean, it's one thing if you hear two guys in the woods yelling for each other, but the fact that one of the voices sounded like a child and was a female voice in clear distress, that's a little alarming. The uploader followed up with another video and said that the incident had no resolution. He also alluded to the fact that the piercing nature of the screams and the unsettling circumstances, this might be one of those nights that will just forever hold the truth to itself. January 13th of 2020 started off as any ordinary Ontario, Canada winter day. Freezing cold, the sun barely peeking through the clouds, and a couple of guys getting after some hard labor deep in the forest. However, that routine day took a terrifying turn. As they're trekking out into the forest to do the work, an eerie noise broke the calm, echoing through the trees. At first it was distant, but then it grew louder and more intense, like it was getting closer to them. All three men felt the same way, a punch to the stomach that something was terribly wrong. At the request of one of his co-workers, one of the guys pulls out his phone and starts recording the mysterious sound. The once peaceful forest now felt charged with an unseen presence. They are all thinking, what could be making this noise? And more importantly, where is it and how dangerous is it? Later that night, the video was uploaded to the YouTube channel The Giftlaker. And boy, it did not take long for the internet to react. The comments section was ripping with theories, speculation, chilling information. One viewer claimed, "I live 30 minutes away from this town, and I can confirm the sounds are still there, they haven't gone away, and we're all afraid they never will." What is going on? What could that be? Is it from some kind of natural animal, or is this something more sinister? I'd love to know your thoughts. The wind slashed across the faces of the workers that are fighting frantically to get 11 horses out of this freezing water. This is just absolute chaos. You can see the horses are shivering, their eyes are wide with terror. Steam is just pouring off of these horses, fighting to stay afloat, fighting exhaustion. Through all of the panic and noise and chaos, one of the quick-thinking men grabbed the keys to the backhoe and pulled it up to the icy water. These horses are desperate, man. You don't have a lot of time in this water. Methodically and quickly, the man maneuvered the arm and was able to get all 11 horses out of the water. Just incredible. Just a heartfelt video here as we see two scientists who have just captured images of a bird that has not been seen for 140 years. You can just tell their excitement. And it doesn't look like it was very easy to get to wherever they were. A sharp-minded commenter said that this is the black-naped pheasant pigeon. And the species is already uncommon, but everyone had feared that it was extinct. And again, no one had definitive proof of this for over 140 years. Super impressive, and it's amazing how powerful it is to witness a perfect stranger's joy and triumph.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Holy shit! Woo! Oh my god!
This is a crazy video. For those of you that don't know, this man's home is in a fire zone in California. This massive tanker has dropped this pink substance, which is a flame retardant, to try to protect his home. A California firefighter in the comments says that it's a biodegradable sticky liquid that helps slow down the rate of the fire, so that ground resources can come in and extinguish it with lower fire activity. I guess a lot of people thought that the plane was crashing. My next question is, when you watch the entire video, do we think his windows burst from the heat in the area, or like this flame retardant? Do we think that that hit it somehow? Like maybe it came out as a ball of liquid and smashed his window? Anyway, I'm curious your thoughts. One funny comment said, "It's a girl. These gender reveals are getting out of control." This next clip shows some still images of what people are saying is a Bigfoot. And they're claiming that this is more credible than most sources because this was taken from a wildlife biologist's trail camera. I'll say it looks pretty good. I mean, It has a different type of face than we normally see. When you zoom in, it has human-like eyes, but a wide, ape-like nose. It's said to have been taken here somewhere in the States, so we know it's not some type of gorilla. Let me know your thoughts on this one.
I thought he was going to pet him. A bystander said that this bear appeared out of nowhere.
And before anyone gets too worried, it's not a grizzly bear, it's a cinnamon black bear. But still, right? The man's just fishing around this dock when this bear walks right up to him. The thing is the angler did a good job. I mean, there's nothing he really could have done other than stay still. Any movement or noise would have likely been perceived as a threat, which would have most likely made the bear engage. Something similar actually happened to a friend of mine who was fishing with his AirPods in. And sure enough, before he knew it, a bear was within 20 feet of him. He said the only way he noticed that the bear was there is that he felt the vibrations of the bear breathing, like grunting. He turned around and then basically had to change his pants. But nevertheless, luckily for my friend and this guy, that the bear just, both of them walked on by. Creepy footage taken out of Georgia shows what appears to be a bipedal creature walking across the train tracks. Now, many people in the comments are not having it. They don't think this is a Bigfoot. They don't think it's a cryptid. They actually, I would say the majority think that this is a drunk guy. It was uploaded as a cryptid video, so I'll give a small edge to the cryptid, but it could very easily be a normal man because the video is so grainy. A few years back, a disturbing photograph began making rounds on Reddit, posted by a user who had received it from a friend. The image quickly caught the attention of many, sparking speculation about possible paranormal activity. The photo was reportedly taken inside an apartment complex in the historic city of Charleston, South Carolina. At first glance, the photo appeared fairly normal. The woman who took it had aimed her camera at her dog, comfortably settled in a chair in her living room. But upon closer inspection, something unsettling became apparent. In the background, her second dog seemed to be cautiously approaching a faint, shadowy silhouette of a woman. The eerie figure was hunched over, and the dog's body language suggested a sense of unease, as if trying to determine whether this presence was a friend or foe. What made the image even more disturbing was that the woman insisted she had been completely alone in her apartment at the time, but the mysterious figure in the photo, there was no logical explanation. Theories began circulating, with some speculating that the figure could be the ghost of someone who had died in the apartment complex. The homeowner herself had reported a string of unsettling occurrences. She would hear the sound of footsteps echoing through the hallways late at night, even though she knew she was the only one home. And in the morning, she would often find objects moved or rearranged, even though she hadn't touched them. The feeling of being watched became a constant, and her dogs exhibited clear signs of discomfort, particularly in the living room, the very spot where the mysterious figure had been caught in the photo. One of the most chilling experiences came from the poster's wife. She had spent the night in that same apartment and was startled awake by the sight of an elderly woman in a nightgown standing beside the bed. As she tried to focus on the figure, it vanished in an instant. However, the unmistakable sound of footsteps retreating beyond the door lingered, leaving her paralyzed with fear.
See, now unlike you, I would have reached in and went, ah!
Oh, wow. Feel that thing.
That's definitely man-made.
Yeah.
100%. But it's solid.
The charring on it.
Yeah.
The heat.
Burnt it through.
Doesn't look like a battery or anything, so we'll get there.
Get down with this end?
Oh yeah, it's right there. Is it hollow? Is it hollow?
Sort of, yeah.
But it's burnt. Oh yeah, and it has something inside of it.
Crazy video clip here. Space debris, space paraphernalia has flown through the roof of this house, smashed through the floor, and now these guys are retrieving it. Anyhow, let me know if you've heard of anything like this. No one has any idea where it came from. And can you imagine? I mean, thank goodness that didn't hit somebody. But can you imagine what that must have sounded like, or how weird that would be sitting in the room and that happening? The officer that's there is pointing to some type of charring on the item. And the guys talking are kind of just like, whoa, this is crazy. The only thing that I've seen similar to this was a bullet hole that was in the top of a guy's car hood that I saw. Other than that, I don't know anything like this that's happened to anyone.